Welcome to WFPC Podcasting, your local source for the heart and history of Pike County, Indiana. And now, here's your host, Randy Harris.
Welcome to WFPC Podcasting. This is a weekly look at news, information, and the people in and around Pike County. Seasons change. There is a new season at Petersburg Elementary. After 17 years, Principal Mr. King has retired. He is replaced with Mrs. Pancake, Melissa Pancake. She takes over the helm at PES. We're meeting her today. We're going to listen to the vision that she is developing for the students and the faculty in the greater Petersburg area. Mrs. Pancake, it's great to meet you.
Thank you.
Glad you're here.
It's nice to be here.
Thank you. Thanks for taking time out to come visit with us and let our audience learn a little bit who you are.
Okay. Well, I didn't know what to expect, so I'm excited to be here.
Great. It's easy. How was Petersburg Elementary when you left?
Petersburg Elementary was running smooth when I left.
Great.
There are great people there. I feel very blessed to be there because there's some hardworking people.
You've got a great staff.
For sure.
We are a hidden gem.
That's what I said. Yes,
All right.
A hidden gem. For sure. The students are respectful. It's a great place to be.
Wonderful. That's what you want to hear.
Yeah.
That's our future, and that's why you got in this business.
For sure.
To help educate, mold, and give them their direction. You're settling in well. I hear great compliments about you.
Thank you.
And I just want you to walk us through our timeline, and just walk us through your journey. What brought you here? What's the providence that brought you to Petersburg? Where did life start out for Melissa?
Melissa started out in Kentucky, in rural Madison County, Kentucky.
Name a city.
Richmond.
Okay.
Richmond's a pretty large city, but we lived probably 12, 14 miles from the city. And I remember growing up, going to town once a week on Saturdays. So that was special at that time. But my brother and I, he's about 2 years older than me. We grew up going fishing every day. There was a pond. We were surrounded by tobacco fields. Madison County was a huge producer at that time of tobacco. And so tobacco was everywhere. We would roam those fields, look for little flint pieces, and it was a lot of
Arrowheads.
Arrowheads. It was a good place to be.
Were you near a river?
We were not.
Okay.
Lots of ponds, but there wasn't a large body of water near us, so just ponds.
Give us, and I'm just not familiar with that neighborhood. What's the next biggest city?
Lexington.
Oh, so you're south of Lexington.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Got it.
People here would probably know it if you're traveling on I-75, and everybody knows about Buc-ee's between Richmond and Berea. Yes, that's very close to where I grew up.
Yeah, I have never been to Buc-ee's, but my family has.
It's a place to be, I guess.
Oh my goodness. It's like everything rolled into one, isn't it?
It is.
It's like a Walmart with a gas station or more.
Yes.
And a restaurant and everything.
Has it all. So I went to Kirksville Elementary School. And that's really where my journey starts. Had a first grade teacher, Mrs. Wells.
We're probably talking 1979, 1980.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Mrs. Wells. What?
Mrs. Catherine, I think it was Catherine Wells. She was my first grade teacher. At that time, we didn't have kindergarten in the rural schools. I believe the city schools did, but you started in first grade. So I was 6 years old, and I loved learning. And my brother obviously had started school before me, so I wanted to learn everything he learned. So I knew my letters and all of that stuff. And I became a really good reader in first grade. And she encouraged me, and I wanted to be like her. So she inspired me to be a teacher. I would go home, play school, have all my stuffed animals in front of me. And I remember diagramming sentences with a little chalkboard that my grandparents bought me. And I just loved school and everything about it.
Mrs. Newkirk had that inspiration on my daughter, Jenna. And I don't think Mrs. Newkirk's in kindergarten anymore. But
No, but she's a great teacher. She's still there. And then our librarian, and
this is at Kirksville.
At Kirksville, yes. I would go home and I would want to enunciate my words exactly like she would read a book because it was just mesmerizing. And that's one of my favorite things to do with the kids is read aloud a book. But I remember wanting to be like her also. She was inspirational to me. Just the way she read books, she was just so calm, and she would draw you into the book. So that's where it started.
You brought a memory back to me when I was a little boy. I grew up in Evansville. Mom would drop me off at Willard Library. And Miss Margaret, and there was another lady, and she would read James Whitcomb Riley to us, and the vivid imagery and her. She was quite a storyteller, and those are great memories to develop kids.
Yes,
and that's what you're creating today. Where did you go from Kirksville?
From Kirksville, we moved. So I went to Clark Middle School, which was in Richmond, closer to town, and then ended up at Madison Central High School.
So you left the pastures. You're a city girl now.
Yes, yeah, a brief time.
What great imagery you set out for us when you were telling about that childhood and playing in those tobacco fields.
Yes. Yeah.
And starting your education.
We were gone. I remember my brother and I, we would be gone from morning to night. As many in our generation was, we didn't stay inside and play very often. It was all outdoors, which I think is good for kids.
We are missing that today.
Yes.
We're scrolling.
We're on machines. Yes.
Yeah, and we've lost that. And there's so much there that we're missing.
Yeah.
That kids are missing.
There's something to be said about the outdoors, and I still love hiking and just being outdoors.
We'll get to this in a minute,
Okay.
but I want you to tell me more about that hiking as we get further down your timeline.
Okay.
You're in Richmond.
Yep.
You're in high school. How does that develop? Your love for education is still there.
It is still there.
We're into the mid to late 80s at this point.
Yes. My mom had a health issue, and so I was probably a freshman in high school, and so I transitioned to American School, which was a correspondence school, and finished my education that way in 1990. And then from there, I went to work at Boonesboro State Park one summer.
Naturalist or what?
The
tour
fort,
guide? Or?
Yes, the fort had a gift shop, a campground, so I was back and forth between those two, and then ended up getting a job at University of Kentucky Federal Credit Union when I was 17, almost 18. And so I drove to Lexington, and it was while I was working there that I met Alan Pancake.
There you go.
So I was 18 and about to turn 19, and then we started dating. Alan is from Daviess County,
Indiana,
but attended church in Petersburg. So
there are a lot of pancakes around here.
There are pancakes in Petersburg, and they are. Some of his family are buried in Asher Cemetery. I think I told you that maybe when we were on the phone, but so probably some of the pancakes around here he's related to.
Great.
But we attended church at Twin Oaks Church in Petersburg.
Barry Whitaker, was he there at the time?
It was before him. Paul Bates was there for a stint, and that's actually my uncle.
All right.
And we talked earlier, preachers move in and out a lot, so I know there have been several there.
The Theroffs.
Yes, I know them.
They were passionate about, I want to say they started that, or anyway, they were involved with that church and passionate about education as well.
Yeah, I remember going to church with Jennifer Theroff. She's probably about our age, so.
All right.
Yeah. I was 19, we married young, and had a son when I was 21. Had taken some business classes. I worked at First Federal Bank in Vincennes. Took that credit union experience and worked in some banks. And when my son started school, I kind of went with him as a teacher's assistant at Veal Elementary. And I did that while I was pursuing my education at Indiana State University to become a teacher.
Wonderful.
So still had that passion
to
just had lived life a little bit.
To learn and grow and develop and help others achieve that as well. That's how it starts, doesn't it?
It is.
And then maintaining that through all the minutia of bureaucracy and everything else. That's a focus, isn't it?
It is. But the passion is still, building relationships with students and being able to educate them and help them grow wherever they start. I mean, that's why we do this, because you get to see that, especially being a principal, you get to see that growth through the years. And some of the students that I taught, now they have children. So that's been fun to see.
Yeah, and their kids, if they ever have you, they're going to think, boy, she's old.
Yes.
She had mom and dad.
Yes. Yes, and it's interesting when we had meet the teacher night at Petersburg Elementary before school started, and one of the parents came up and said, "Do you remember me?" And I had taught her at Tecumseh Harrison Elementary in Vincennes before, when she was in like 4th or 5th grade.
But you and Alan, your family, you all through this time, you're living in Ville Township, commuting to school.
Yes.
And also Vincennes. And then what goes from there?
Well, I taught for 4 years in Vincennes and then became their elementary curriculum coach.
All right.
In, I guess, 2008, the Indiana Department of Education was changing how they recognized master's degrees. That was temporary. It didn't last. So many of us went to Oakland City University to get a master's degree. And the two options, I think there was one in curriculum and instruction and one in school leadership. And I never aspired to be a principal at all. But the group of teachers I was with, we were all friends, and we were like, oh, let's go this route. So we were a cohort and ended up with the educational leadership route. And that's how I pursued my principal's license, and was really inspired by some of the professors there. Dr. Underwood from Evansville. He was a principal in Evansville at the time, but doing some work for Oakland City. And I went from there and ended up being an assistant principal at Clark Middle School for a year, and then moving over to Franklin Elementary in 2014, and was there for 10 years until Mr. King retired here at Petersburg.
So this is your first gig as a principal.
No, I was a principal for 10 years
That
at Franklin.
that was from 14 to 24.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Well, that's quite a journey so far.
It is.
And now we're in your next phase. Petersburg. You've given us a little bit. Tell us what your vision is, how you see this all coming together to continue educating the kids from the greater Petersburg area.
I feel like I'm back to where I was and where I started when I first arrived in Indiana from Kentucky. I love the rural community, the closeness, that everyone, it's like a family, and that's special. The size of the school is very similar to where I came from, so that's not anything different from where I was, but it is closer to my home and closer to family, I guess.
I'm going to jump out of education for a minute, sort of,
Okay.
and I'm going back to a sidebar comment that you were telling me about. You and Alan have built a nature trail. Tell us about that.
We have 2 grandchildren. I think I forgot to mention that. And one on the way, actually. And when our first grandson was born, we were just so full of joy. And we bought this property that's half mile from our home and decided it was full of just old trees, hundreds years old. You know, we wanted to preserve that and
The
make
native stuff, the
Yes.
virgin stuff.
Yeah.
It's always been there.
Yes. It was very close to where my husband grew up, between our house and his parents, which we were like a mile apart. And so we started working and clearing land for a trail. And we tried to do it. It was just with, sweat and hard work, because we wanted to do the least amount of damage to the property. So we didn't have huge machines or anything on it. We were just doing it by hand.
The old-fashioned way.
Yes. And ended up with a nice hiking trail. It's 1.4 miles. We named it after our grandson, the Brooks Loop Trail.
Great.
We hosted a 5K, or I guess they had to do multiple trips around it, but we had a run there a few years back. And then last year we had a story walk with a school group, and they came and had a field trip out there.
Wonderful. You can maybe have a field trip with Petersburg.
Yes, that would be fun.
Great. Back on education, what are the challenges that you're seeing in education today that has changed in just your last 10 years as principal?
I think, we do a lot of testing in the elementary schools, and that's a lot for kids. And sometimes I wonder if it's even developmentally appropriate at times, some of the tests that they're required to take. That's, to
And
me,
who does
challenging.
that benefit?
Right. I mean, we do get data from it, but sometimes it seems to be a lot. So I think that's a challenge. Funding can be a challenge at times. Teachers love to do fun things with the students, and so I'm sure that's always trying to weigh what's the most important. And then we get a variety of kids and with a variety of circumstances, and so we want to be able to help each and every student grow, no matter where they're coming from.
We've got something different going on right now. We've got solar fields, and they're only going to be here for a while.
Yeah.
And the kids are brought into your system only for a brief period of time, and they speak a different language.
Yeah.
That's a challenge.
Yeah,
And that cuts into funding and everything else, doesn't it?
it does.
How are you dealing with that?
Well, we have a few students, not a high percentage of English language learners in our building, but we have a great team working to help them learn the language. And it's amazing because we've only been in school, 2, maybe almost 3 weeks, the growth that we see. And again, that goes back to those great people we have and their ability to take a situation and run with it. No matter the challenge, they're working on it and they're working to make it better. And so we're building positive relationships with those families and those students. And you see a lot of growth in a short amount of time. So that's
fabulous. That's a win.
See. It is.
That's a success story.
Yeah. It's like kindergarten. I always say kindergarten, you see the greatest amount of growth from beginning of year to end. It's phenomenal.
I kicked the back seat out of a 1967 Valiant because I did not want Mom to drop me off to go to kindergarten. It's a challenge starting something new for a developing mind.
Yes. The best part of my day, one of the best parts of my day, is seeing them get off the bus. Because we have 14 buses at Petersburg, and we call kindergarten off first, and they are so eager to be there. It's just neat to see them.
Thanks for watching WFPC Podcasting. Let's take a quick 60 seconds to hear from our episode sponsors.
WFPC welcomes a new sponsor, Hathaway Excavating and Rock Yard, located right here in Pike County on State Road 64, just west of the Arthur Junction, near the new Pike County EMS building. Besides excavating and dirt work, Hathaway Excavating adds a rock yard to their bundle of services, along with all kinds of dirt work, septic cleaning, septic installs, and always local friendly service. Hathaway Excavating and Rock Yard, 812-582-2646. Recently, the real estate market has been unpredictable, but at Harris Real Estate, we still have clients looking for homes and properties. Let us help you sell your home or property and or find your next one. We're local. We know the business. We know the community. Harris Real Estate has listed and sold hundreds of properties right here in Pike County. Harris Real Estate, 812-380-1065. And when you wash your vehicle on a regular basis, there are many advantages. You're easier to see, you preserve the life of your vehicle, you help maintain its value, protect its paint, prevent corrosion, and it just looks better. It only takes 6 quarters or your credit card to get it started. Stop by Petersburg Car Wash today, 401 South 9th Street, Petersburg. Other challenges, you've got a great staff. Mm-hmm. You've got people who are passionate about their job. What is developing outside of rural Pike County, rural southern Indiana, that Pike, Knox, Davies area? What's developing in the colleges for a teacher supply? How is that going to affect and direct? And part B of that, how do you direct those inspiring teachers to come to this rural area? Might be a little bit of difference in money, but as you and I at the same time said, we're a hidden gem. Mm-hmm. If I was a young teacher wanting to start my career, I would much rather be in this area with the traditions that we have than what has developed in the bigger areas, the metro areas. How do you get those students here? What's your recruitment like?
I think. And that is a challenge. I mean, and not just with teachers, school staff in general, bus drivers, cooks, instructional assistants. Trying to fill positions can be challenging at times. And so we're constantly using social media and just friends of friends of friends to try to get people to apply.
Baby boomers aren't working anymore.
Right.
Or some of them are, but only out of necessity. They don't necessarily want to be, but they are.
And we're so thankful when you have those retiring teachers or staff who continue to come back and work with us. I mean, that's always a gift.
So getting these, you're marketing, you're trying to get them here, but I'm sure that's going to be a challenge when the people our age get to the point, been doing this for 30 years, starting to wear down a little bit. And it's directing those people here. You also, with those people, you're competing against parochial schools, which might seem to be a better place to go than public education at this point. You've got homeschooling that you're competing against. Lots of challenges. Lots of challenges for education. Where do you see us in 10 years?
In 10 years, that's a good question. I think we're doing a good job of helping students. We have with COVID and all that had transpired with that and the anxiety of kids. I feel like we do a really good job of helping them and meet their needs where they are. We have resources like the Family Health Center who help in our schools. We have our school counselor, which is Andrea McCutcheon, is amazing. We're blessed to have her. Just our school nurse. We have great resources, and I feel like we're helping kids no matter where they come from to grow and move forward.
COVID changed the world.
It did.
It changed how we approach things. Talk to us about your staff. Tell us what do you have in kindergarten right now, and how are you learning all your associates?
Learning all the names has been interesting because we have all the students and all the staff, and we have a lot of staff.
You've only been here 3 weeks. I'm sorry.
No, but I make it another favorite part of my day is I go into every classroom every day, and the kids, just having them see me, get to know me, is a pretty special thing. So I get to see firsthand them learning. We started a new reading curriculum this year, and so that's been fun to see. The teachers are learning as well, getting, you have this amount of time to get a lot accomplished, and so they're learning.
So you take all those papers on your desk, you put them in a pile, put them over until after school, and you go through and visit each classroom.
In the mornings, I make it a point to visit those classrooms.
That's fabulous.
I like to see what the students are doing and how they're learning. And that's what I tell them. It's like, I'm just watching you learn. I don't stay very long in each classroom, but I think it's important that they see me and know that I'm there. And
know you're accessible.
Correct.
Kindergarten. How is your team coming together on kindergarten to get these kids off to the right start?
Well, they're doing a great job. I know they're working together. We have grade level meetings, and I see them out planning in the hallways together also. So that's been fun to see. Do you want me to go through the names?
Sure.
Okay, we have Mrs. Kavanaugh. She's been there for quite a while.
Few years.
Yes.
Couple turns around the sun.
Yes. Mrs. Russell, who has also been there a while. Mrs. Ficklin and Mrs. Mize Combs.
Great. What is... My kindergarten started in 1970. What is the goal of getting... What do you hope to teach the kids in kindergarten today? Is it putting on their shoes, tying their shoelaces, learning their colors? Where are we in 2025 with a 5-6-year-old kid starting school?
Well, they'll eventually teach them to read. Right now, we're working on letter sounds and letter naming, numbers, counting. But for the most part, they're working on what school is. This is school. This is how we operate. Teaching expectations. And that's a lot in kindergarten.
You bet.
How to get a lunch tray, those types of things.
And this is airing on September 5th. We're recording this a little bit ahead of time to get prepared for it. But they're just getting their feet wet.
For sure.
And my issue was R's and speech. And it was pretty bad. And I think that's what always drove me to go into radio, where I had to speak to where people could understand me.
So you got that practice.
Yeah, I had to, because that just works on you when you're a little kid and nobody understands you. So by the end of the year, when we get to April and May, where will these kids be, we hope?
They will be more mature,
Right.
for sure, and they will be reading simple books.
Wonderful. And some kids may have already started on this before they got here.
True. We have them at all levels. That's the great thing about public school. You have a very
It's a melting pot.
Unique mix in every classroom.
The word that we used back 40 years ago was mainstreaming. Not sure how that's developed, but yeah, you just pull everybody together, put them in one classroom. Good luck, teacher.
Yes. Yes. Thankfully, we have the support of teaching assistants, and we're always looking for teaching assistants. I mean, we have a job posting open now, but they help tremendously with the operation of the school.
And I assume the more localized, the more individual help those students can get, the more it helps them develop well.
For sure.
So let's move from kindergarten to first grade. What is the goal in first grade? What are we going to learn in first grade? And how's that team? That
team is amazing. Also, we have a group of teachers who work well together and who collaborate, and that helps. When 4 people are collaborating and working together, that helps the whole program be stronger.
They all get along.
They do. They do. And that's nice to see. First grade, the reading and writing will become a little bit more lengthy, and the math, addition, subtraction, that'll get more complex in first grade. And they just are a little bit more mature in first grade.
Some of us take a while.
Yeah.
What are they going to be doing at the end of the first grade?
At the end of the first grade, they'll be writing a paragraph.
Okay.
So that's pretty good.
How are we in math in first grade?
First grade,
1
addition.
1 + 1, 2 + 2.
Memorizing some simple facts.
And reading, writing, computers. How are we doing with those in first grade?
We are learning how to use a computer. They're using computers in kindergarten also.
Wow.
Yes, they're taking tests this week on computers and learning how to manipulate them. So
no more big old fat red pencils, huh?
right. We do have pencils too. We have both. It's a good mix.
Second grade. Tell us about your second grade team.
Our second grade team is phenomenal. We have, I like the way the pods are set up so that the grade levels are together. And so you see them out in the hallways collaborating.
I remember when they were building that school. That was, I don't remember if it was Mr. Metters or Mr. Briscoe, but they were They were explaining to me that's how this is going to work. We're all going to be in groups. We're going to have each other as a resource.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's a great team atmosphere. And then fourth grade, they're bringing in some history, and fifth grade, of course, is ruling the school.
They're the top dogs.
They're the top dogs.
Big dogs on campus. Mm-hmm. With a little bit of an attitude, ready to take that into middle school.
Yes. Yep. But we're thankful for them. They're such good helpers, especially at the beginning of the year.
How has education changed? And you started teaching, what, 20 years ago? 20?
Almost.
Okay. How's it changed it? My dad was a teacher. My wife was a teacher. My dad started after he got out of the Navy in 1957, and by the time he retired in 1992, he said, kids are so different today, but I don't think it was the kids. I think it was all that minutia that you and I spoke about that just kept growing and growing, that he thought inhibited the growth of education because you had so much other stuff to deal with.
One huge change is in the technology. Since I started teaching, I remember my classroom when I first started had one computer in it, and so you didn't do a lot of instructing with a computer.
Everybody have their own Chromebooks?
They do now, but not back then, of course. And so that's different. Testing has moved to computer. A lot has moved that way. And then now we're looking at artificial intelligence how that's going to affect education and how it can be used responsibly.
But what is the gate on that? What controls that?
Right.
The guy on the other side of this camera understands AI, likes it, embraces it. To me, it scares me.
Yeah.
So it's different, isn't it?
It is.
Oh my.
Things are always changing. And with AI, that's going to be the next probably big changes.
My daughters can pick things out that I can't necessarily pick, and they say, "Oh, Dad, that's AI." Okay. Wow. It's and Lee Strobel and another guy I listened to, Glenn Beck. Sometimes they were talking about how AI. Wow, it's a different world.
It is, and we're just kind of dabbing into it right now. We have a program called Magic School, and that's helping us use AI responsibly, and kind of has that filter that you were discussing,
Yeah, but not everybody's going to use that.
Right.
Or want to use it. They're going to use it for their advantage, their own advantage. Mr. King had your position for maybe 17 years or so. Great guy. And those are some pretty big shoes to fill.
For sure. Intimidating, kind of.
Yeah. And well liked. He had the same issue. He took over from Mr. Metters. I don't know if you've heard that name yet. He was a long-term principal. That stability seems to work in our favor. It's like we were talking about preachers earlier. They move every 3 years.
Yes.
When that's your administration in your school, that might leave it a little more unstable. Hopefully you're here for quite a while.
Well, I plan to be.
Great. and I think that is a rich tradition that we've had. We're holding on to the stability that has some knowledge there.
And, I think it's important for building trust with the teachers,
community.
staff, and community, yes, and families.
And you might not be, you're on the other side of the river, but you're close.
I am.
And in Knox County, you were just on the other side of the river, but this is a nice little triangle here.
It is, yes.
It might not be Kirksville, Kentucky.
Kirksville,
Kirksville, Kentucky, but
it's very similar.
Great. And gee, that's who we are. And we're a little, I grew up in Evansville. And I always, once I got here, I thought, the people in the city don't realize what's at the extension of their hand in their fingers. And that's this great rural area. They don't have to come here. What they've got is within those boundaries. But if they reach out just a little bit further, there's a whole lot of life out here. And what a great place to live, raise your family, to work.
I agree. And there are a lot of events. I mean, if you look at things that the community has hosted, I went to the farmers market on Saturday and got to visit with
Mrs. Hanson.
Yes, she was there. We had a student who was selling lemonade, and just,
wonderful.
Those kinds of things are what bring people together. And I feel like Petersburg has a lot of community events.
We've still got that in this small town, or this small county. The whole county is only 12,500 people, and that's great.
Yeah.
We are thrilled that you're here. We're excited that you came on WFPC today. What else? What do you need to leave us with? What's your vision? What do you hope to accomplish?
I want to, I've started the year building relationships with students and faculty, staff, the community. I want to see them continue growing. And I just want children to want to come to school so they can take advantage of the opportunities there. So I feel like you have to build that with having a positive relationship with students, families, and making sure they feel comfortable coming into school, that they're going to be listened to and feel safe. That's important. So just giving them that environment that is just optimal for learning.
It's home.
Yes.
And you got to be comfortable at home. Yeah.
Agree.
Well, Mrs. Pancake, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it so much.
You're welcome. And anytime you need to update us on things, let us know.
I will. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us for this program of WFPC Podcasting. The program is brought to you by Harris Real Estate and Petersburg Car Wash. Please like the podcast and share with your friends so more people can hear about WFPC. You may find WFPC Podcasting on our website, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you listen to your favorite media. Join us next Friday for another episode of WFPC Podcasting, exploring the people, information, and news right here in Pike County. See you next week.
Thanks for watching WFPC Podcasting, your local source for the heart and history of Pike County, Indiana. From back roads to town centers, we bring you the voices, stories, and news that shape our community. Join us on this journey through the past, present, and future of Pike County, Indiana. Tune in next week for the next episode of WFPC Podcasting.